Hi, everybody. Welcome to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. And this is me, Oberon, with Goth Tarot. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking right now, don't be so negative, Mr. O. But alas, I am. At any rate, we are finishing up our work with this month's special shadow work. Whoops, wrong one. Toxic relationships. That's where the negativity lies. So I'm going to briefly remind us about toxic relationships. I create positive relationship foundations with myself and other people because the whole point of toxic relationships is we let those determine so much for ourselves, and we can blame everything on them in a way, and we can use them to depower ourselves or depower our associations. But we're trying to move beyond this now. And I think it's important to remember these words from the moving forward section. Try to understand what you look for in relationships. Think about ones that encroached on your boundaries and think about your own responsibility in that. Ask yourself what they have to teach you. Do you accept balanced sharing? Dare to show your vulnerability or always look to be in control? Listen to your feelings and considerations, and then focus on your inner child and write them a letter of reassurance. And of course, that's pretty metaphoric and all that. So that's how we hopefully will conclude this. We'll have some other cards to pull and some other meditations going on. I'm going to open it proper by giving us our uh, opening affirmation from the Dark Light Oracle. Full moon, dark lighted magic in the air. We are gathered here to celebrate the beauty of the night, the glory of the moon, the power of feminine intuition. You are invited to join the rite if your life seems to lack a little magic. It is time for you to reconnect with your untamed side. Deep down inside, you have the soul of a witch, or maybe the soul of a vampire, whose real thirst is for beauty and magic. You have to put aside reason and logic for a while and let your intuition guide you. But most of all, celebrate what you truly believe in and incorporate more of it into your life. Affirmation. I devote myself to the beauty of life. I reconnect to my most powerful self. I let my intuitive inner witch show me the way. All right, then. So as you can see, this is a time to embrace your power. And in embracing your power, you may be able to transform the nature of the toxic relationships. So how are we really doing with that? What is our final update? Next week, is October 1st, and we will be starting something new with Banshee, a new round of a new shadow issue. So this is our last check-in to see how I'm using the Erethereal Shadowwork Tarot for our update. It's the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So I'm glad for this one. The suggestion here is that in reality, we've been letting the toxic relationships have their way too much, and we've been just sort of letting them occur with us without necessarily addressing them at all. Down through these last few weeks, I could see that in some of the updates or some of the other cards that we were pulling, that it was still something we weren't totally able to address. This is suggesting with the Seven of Pentacles that it could be that way. We could let it just stay that way. But really, because the card is reversed, it is really now the time to move forward from what we feel are those limiting, codependent, toxic relationships. It's kind of like in the nature of pulling out the final stops. And so what we are looking at is now what I call the dark antidote. It's the way to identify any final root or rot that's lingering, causing the shadow issue. So to do that, I'm going to pull the card from the Deadly Apothecary Oracle. And so there will be both the identification of what the poison is, what is the issue that affects, and the possible antidote. I've done this before for this particular episode, the final episode, but I've usually just went right to the antidote. But I think I'm going to use both poison and antidote. And the concept death cap. Death cap has been taught to be quiet from an early age, shutting down powerful emotions again and again to make life easier for those around them. Death cap was often silenced. They learned to be meek and not cause too much trouble, realizing their strong and sensitive feelings were an inconvenience and would not be tolerated. To please others, Death Cap became obedient and passive, trying very hard not to make any waves. They have presented their strong feelings for so long, they are starting to feel numb and powerless. So Death Cap is really the final step of letting toxic relationships take over us. And so that's why we have that Seven of Pentacles. Because it's a now or never time. It's time really to stand up to what the codependent relationships are doing to us, are creating it in terms of that toxicity we feel, those obligations. So here is the antidote for Death Cap. Death Cap has forgotten they are a powerful being, temporarily dulled by living in human form. They believed too much in what others said about them and have been overly dutiful and timid, which has clouded their light. Death Cap needs to step into their power and realize that their sensitivity is their strength. Their strong feelings are now safe to express, which will lead to powerful changes for themselves and the world. It's time for Death Cap to realize their strength and start by expressing their needs and wishes in relationships. The only way we're going to change the nature of the toxic relationships is by taking this advice. And it's really a sense of standing up to them. Do it. I'm going to use the final time to do a final meditation, and it'll be a longer one. And it's from the Secret Language of Darkness. By Denise Jarvis. This is a way of finalizing, hopefully, everything we've gone through this month with toxic relationships, with our attempts to distract or detour us, to hide them behind a different persona, etc. It's worry, the illusion of control. Your concerns for the future are blinding you to the wonderment in your life today. In an effort to feel safe in the present, you seek to control the outcomes of the future. Trauma or a series of hurts may have caused you to become hypervigilant. When we are young, we seek safety. In a chaotic environment, we look to adults or social groups to learn how to feel safe. Many of us were not taught or encouraged to process unsafe feelings. Thus, they move into the shadow and can become unhealthy coping strategies. You may think you will feel safe if you can ensure everyone is okay and everything is done. And that only then will you be worthy enough to create and live your dreams. But there will always be things that are out of your control. Your worries for the future have been trying to keep you safe. They have gotten you here. Thank them for their support, but it is now time to heal and step into the future with confidence. And that's the conclusion to our month's work on toxic relationships. Join us next week when we begin a new round based on another shadow concept we can define as what is the dark secrets and whispers of our souls. Don't forget to watch our live stream on Thursday night, that's tomorrow, 7 to 9 p.m. Also, my show, The Emotional Exchanges, at 7 o'clock on Friday morning. Happy hour will be at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. Banshees Material Matters, Sunday at 10 a.m. And then finally, our live stream Sunday afternoons from 2 to 4 p.m. Thanks for your support.